So now we're going to do drawing number 2. It's very similar to drawing number 1. Remember, most of the lines that you draw are going to be construction lines. They're very light lines. So for my purpose, we're going to be doing those lines in red. We'll start off, we've already done the border. You have your name on it. And drawing number 1 is 2 inches, drawing number 2 is 2 inches tall. So we're going to measure up 2 inches. Takes 2 points to make a line. Once I have those 2 dots on there, I'll draw my construction line from border to border. Do not go outside the border. Remember, we measured up 2 inches. Now we're going to measure to the side 3 inches because it's 3 inches wide. So I put the 0 on my starting point. I'm going to measure over 3 inches. I'm going to slide up to give my second dot because it takes 2 points to make a line. And then I'm going to draw my construction line. Line up those 2 dots and draw my construction line. So now we're going to try to do the L shape. And remember, the L shape is 1 inch tall. So from our 0, from our starting point, we're going to measure up 1 inch. Remember, 2 points to make a line. And draw your construction line. And it's also 1 inch from the side for the top part of the L. So I'm going to measure 1 inch from our starting point, slide up and do it again. Line up the 2 dots and draw the construction line. And there's the L. There's the L. And if you want to, you can go ahead and take a minute and darken it in because we know that it exists. So let's go ahead and do that and darken it in. And you'll notice I'm using the blue because these are object lines. So remember, the red ones are light lines and the blue ones are dark lines. Take a moment and get caught up. So now we have that extra little piece that's sitting off to the side there. See if you can't figure out how wide and how tall that extra little piece is. So now that we know that 3 inches minus 1 inch is 2 inches, and this piece minus the little bitty bit in the back, so 2 inches minus 1 inch leaves 1 inch here, we're going to measure over 1 inch. And these should be construction lines. 1 inch. And draw your construction line. And now you have the other little square, and it's right there. It's right there. All you have to do is darken it in. And that's your front view. Take a moment and get caught up. Now we're going to do the top view. In order to do the top view, we have to skip up 1 inch. Remember, we're using the side 16. We're going to skip up 1 inch. 2 points to make a line. I've gone up 1 inch. Line up my dots and draw the construction line. Take a moment now, make another circle right there, because this is where we're going to start our top view. We have 2 lines to draw for the top view. The first one says, when you look here at the top, that it's 1 inch wide. So here we're going to go 1 inch up. So let's measure again. Starting at the 0, measure up 1 inch. 2 points to make a line. And sometimes it's easier if we draw what we know. But first, catch up on this. So now let's draw what we know. Some of this is going to be dark already. We know that it's 1 inch tall, so we can make that dark. We know that across the top it makes 2 inches. And now how far down do we need to go? Take a moment to see if you can figure that out. Okay, so now we're going to go down 1/2 inch. Oops, let's make sure these are construction lines. They're not object lines. So I'm going to take 2 points. And once I have those 2 points, I'm going to draw a construction line. And now I can see the rest of my shape. There's the L shape. So all I have to do is darken in, 1/2 inch going down, 1 inch going back, 1/2 inch going down, 1 inch going back. And there's that first 9 or an L or a shoe or something that's right there. And now we have the other side, which is going to be right here. And all we have to do is darken it in. Take a moment and get caught up. All right, we're 3 lines from being finished. We're going to do the side view now. So the side view, we're going to skip over, again, we're going to skip over 1 inch. So measure over from the side of the picture 1 inch. Remember, these are construction lines, not object lines, so they're very light. They don't go outside the border. And now, if the width of the picture here from the top is 1 inch, then the width from the side is also going to be 1 inch. Because remember, the distance here is this corner going backwards. So it's 1 inch wide here. That means it's 1 inch wide here. Remember to use the side 16. You can go ahead and circle this spot right here to let you know that that's where the side view starts. 1 inch, 1 inch, and draw a construction line. Notice that I stopped at my name, so I wouldn't go through my name. All right, so if we draw what we know already, we know that the bottom square is actually a square, and so we can make that dark. And now we have to figure out what the top square is, because it's this shape, looking at it this direction. It bumps into it there, and it bumps into it there, here and here. And so we know that the distance here is how much? Half an inch. So I'm going to go over half an inch with a construction line. I'm going to draw that construction line. And now I can see that there's the two rectangles here and there you go. That is drawing number 1 complete.